at the end of the call, James Lane did thank Rebecca Sharp personally for her work on the comprehensive services agreement to ensure that our kids that are in day treatment and other outplacements are taken care of. So I just wanted to again give a shout out to Rebecca Sharp, who's all things Empress of COVID-19. Want to thank our principals who just continue to be boots on the ground, if you will, making sure that good information is flowing from the schools, working with their staffs respectively. And then lastly, just want to take a second to give a shout out to our teachers. They're doing what we're all doing in many cases, is that they are trying to manage work with kids as well. And for those of you that have kids and are trying to work, it's not an easy task. And I just want to thank them for not only taking care of their own kids, but taking care of ours as well. So excited to have the spring upon us. Looking forward to the next 6 or 7 weeks of instruction. And again, one last thank you, and that's to you all for your continued support of the school division. And the thanks, when you all say thank you to the people that are working so hard behind the scenes, it's really appreciated. So you don't always get the thanks you deserve either. And so we want to say thank you to you as well. So that's it, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Noonan. Are there any comments, questions from any member? In the absence of that, I'll just jump in and say, wow, that's quite a kudos for Ms. Sharp. That's wonderful to see her work being recognized at that level. That's fantastic. So other comments, anyone? All right, not seeing any then. Thank you, Dr. Noonan. We'll go ahead and move to board and student liaison comments. And I can just go down the list alphabetically if that makes things work for folks, assuming that I don't mess that up as we move along. So Ms. Dimick.
I don't have anything here, sorry.
That's fine, thank you. Ms. Downs.
For Parks and Recs, they've been obviously working on the farmers market issue. So, and they've gone to go option. For our ESOL committee, as well as our gifted and talented committee, we have a couple people who are rolling off both those committees. So I'm working with the chairs on finding some new members for those. And I know Marty has asked us to try to push towards a late April, early May. So I'm working on that. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Ms. Litton.
I don't have anything to report. None of mine have met.
Okay, thanks very much. Mr. Reininger.
Nothing from me, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you very much. Ms. Russell.
Nothing.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Webb.
Nothing either. The Ed Foundation meeting is on the 20th, so I'll have something next time.
Okay, thanks very much. Ms. Singhvi.
I guess I don't have any updates, but I just wanted to reiterate on behalf of students how grateful we are for all your work and communication during this strange time. I obviously can't speak for everyone, but from what I've seen and heard, people are really happy with the grading system and the way that online classes have been going. So we're really appreciative of all your work. So thank you.
Thank you, Niharika. That means a lot to us.
That's fantastic to hear. Thank you. I will just say that I attended the Chamber of Commerce board meeting this morning virtually, and a big chunk of it was spent on a very sobering discussion of the impacts that the pandemic is having on the business community. And I'll just echo Dr. Noonan, if you have, and Mr. Reininger, if you have the resources to go with this T-shirt fundraiser and you feel like that's something you want to do, I think every bit of support for our business community would be appreciated. They've done a lot for the schools over the years, so anything folks can do to help demonstrate our support would be great. But that's kind of the one formal assignment. There's been, I will just take a moment to say thank you to Dr. Noonan and to all of you on the board and Ms. Vincent and everyone else on the call, basically, because we've had a long running series of conversations and trying to make sure everyone is aware of everything that's going on and all of the decisions and challenges that we're facing. And thank you for all of the work that all of you are doing to help the division move forward. So with that, I don't know that there are any other, unless there are any other comments, last thoughts on this. We do have some materials for board review about enrollment and monthly membership. I don't know if there are any comments or questions on that. And if not, then we are going to move into a closed meeting, and I've got just some preparatory remarks for logistics on that. Okay, not seeing anything. So we're going to, next we'll be moving into a closed meeting, and just so everyone knows, we all have received an invitation to a separate Zoom call. Those who have that invitation should go onto that Zoom call after, should leave this one, go onto that one, and then we'll do our meeting, and at the end of that, we'll leave that one and come back here. From the public's perspective, it'll be an electronic version of us getting up and leaving the room for one of our conversations, but that's generally how that's going to work. So if someone would like to make a motion about a closed meeting, that would be great.
Okay, great. Pursuant to the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, I move that the board convene a closed meeting for the following purpose: to discuss or consider the identified subject matter, personnel under section 2.2-3711A1, in particular staff appointments, staff reassignments, staff resignations, staff retirements, staff performance, staff change in position, staff termination, dependent care leave, long-term medical leave, child care leave requests and leave of absence, and advisory committee appointments and student matters under 2.2-3711A2, in particular discussion or consideration of a matter that would involve the disclosure of information contained in a scholastic record concerning any student of any state school system.
Thank you, Ms. Russell. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Dimick.
Yes.
Ms. Goodell.
Yes. Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Yes. Ms. Dimick.
Yes.
Ms. Downs.
Yes.
Ms. Litton.
Yes.
Mr. Reitinger.
Yes.
Ms. Russell.
Yes.
And Mr. Webb.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. My estimate on this is we're somewhere between probably half an hour and an hour on this closed session is my guess. So those who have that other invitation, please jump onto the other Zoom call. Thank you. Right, I think we are all back connected. I'm just making sure to count here. Yeah. So if someone would make a motion about reconvening an open session. Can someone make a motion about reconvening? I'm looking at anybody who wants to do it.
Okay, I'll take care of it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Reitinger. Go ahead.
I'm just going over
7.03 on the agenda.
I move that the board reconvene to open meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Reitinger. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Dimick. Ms.
And-
Goodell?
I'll do the roll call. Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Ms. Dimick.
Yes.
Ms. Downs.
Yes.
Ms. Litton.
Yes.
Mr. Reitinger.
Yes.
Ms. Russell.
Yes.
And Mr. Webb.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we have reconvened now in open, and we need to certify our closed meeting.
I'm there if you'd like me to do that, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Mr. Reitinger.
Whereas the Falls Church City School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to the affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. And whereas section 2.2371B Virginia requires conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Falls Church City School Board hereby certifies that to the best of colleagues were discussed in the closed meeting to which the certification applies, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered.
Thank you, Mr. Reidinger. Unfortunately, your sound was cutting out so that we missed a good chunk of the middle of the motion. So I think to be safe, if you wouldn't mind doing it again, please.
Sure. If I cut out in the middle again, stop me though, so we can have somebody else do it.
Sorry, say again, please.
I just read it. I have it up on my screen.
Mr. Reidinger, are you all right if we switch gears there? And have Ms. Dimick make the motion?
I'm happy to.
All right, then Ms.
All
Dimick,
right.
please go ahead.
I'll just read this. Whereas the Falls Church City School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.2-3711B of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by this school board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Falls Church City School Board hereby certifies that, to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting to which this certification applies, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered.
Thank you very much, Ms. Dimick. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Reidinger. Ms. Goodell?
Yes, excuse me, Ms. Anderson,
Yes.
Ms. Dimick,
Yes.
Ms. Downs,
Yes.
Ms. Litton,
Yes.
Mr. Reitinger,
Yes.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
and Mr. Webb.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. This closed meeting now is certified. So the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda, but I must confess, under an electronic meeting, Ms. Goodell, I'm not sure if that's any different than the normal routine.
I did talk with Tricia Minson and Dr. Noonan about that. We'll have to do a roll call vote as well,
Okay.
but you're just doing it in one action.
Okay, well then, would someone like to make a motion regarding the consent agenda?
I move that the items on the consent agenda be adopted.
Thank you, Mr. Reidinger. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Litton. Ms. Goodell?
Sure. Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Ms. Dimick,
Yes.
Ms. Downs,
Yes.
Ms. Litton,
Yes.
Mr. Reitinger,
Yes.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
and Mr. Webb.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes.
Thank you very much. At this point, there is but one thing left on the agenda, which is adjournment. So unless anyone has any final comments or thoughts, we will, Dr. Noonan.
Yeah, can I just take a moment to just take your picture before everybody jumps off? Just because I thank you for taking your glasses off there, Miss Downs, looking good. All right, here we go. On 3, 1, 2, 3, and a little wave, just like Brady Bunch kind of style. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. All right, appreciate it. I'll
Thank
make
you,
sure to get
everyone.
that out.
Thank you.
All right, unless there's anything else, we stand adjourned, and I thank you all, and we'll be back a week from tonight.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.